Hello? I think I'm streaming now. What in the world?
Hello.
Hello?
Okay, thanks. I switched headphones so I can like walk around and stuff, and I guess it messed up the audio from Discord.
Oh, here we go. Okay, share a link. Duh. Alright, there you go. Alright, my friend is going to join.
Sweet, awesome.
I guess I'm live streaming. You can see it and everything?
Yep.
Okay,
I'm gonna
cool.
leave Discord since I
Okay,
can hear you through there now.
okay. Oh, so many windows open. Wow. I don't even know. Like when I do this for real, I got to have everything set up before I go live. Oh yeah, I don't want to talk to you anymore. You got to use the chat. Oh, you already hung up. Okay. Okay. All right. Hello, everyone. We are going to test a live stream and draw a skull. I'm slightly drunk, so this is gonna go really well. All right. The plan is to draw a skull from memory, which is what I've done for all of these. And they're in chronological order. I've been trying to get better at drawing them from memory. And so every time music feels a bit. Every time I do one, I review it afterwards and compare it to a bunch of anatomical drawings and see how far off I was. And that's kind of been what I've been doing for the last few weeks. So I want to get rid of these and draw a new one. And we'll see how it goes. Feel free to ask questions. I'm kind of nervous. So right now I'm just mapping out the basic proportions and placement of the whole thing. I'm trying to go a bit slower this time. I think last time I rushed it a bit. Am I trying to do it in a different position each time? I'm almost picking the position at random, but I'm always sort of doing this 3/4 view, so I'm not doing straight on or a profile view. I'm kind of just sticking to this 3/4 thing, but I don't want to do the exact same view every time because I don't want to only learn one angle of it. I want to understand the whole thing as a whole. And I'm afraid if I... Oh man, it's hard to talk and draw at the same time. I'm afraid if I just do one angle, I will only learn that angle. So I'm changing it up a bit, but I'm not straying too far from this 3/4 view. Once I get this down a little bit better, I may move on to some more extreme angles, like, looking up or looking really far down, or start playing around with the different angles. But for right now, I'm mostly sticking to the 3/4 view. See, right now I'm questioning my proportions here. And Joe, if you got questions, hit me with them. I'm trying to get used to a lively chat in case that ever happens, so just hit me. All right, I'm going to flip it just so I can get sort of a better or a fresh eye on it. I keep thinking that I learned this section, that I understand how it works, but every time I go back to draw it, it just doesn't work. So that will be something that I need to work on. Looks creepy. Yep, it is a skull. I think a lot of times, especially at the beginning, where I run into some problems is I will be sort of flipping through like different methods that I've learned and like flipping back and forth between them, and I'm not totally understanding why I'm using them in the first place. So I'm just doing things just to do them without really understanding why. So I need to put a little bit more thought into exactly why I'm doing certain things. That's mostly in the beginning stage that I find myself doing that. All right, I'm actually going to take a quick break. I will be right back. Be back in 5. Is this a thing live streamers do? Cool. I'll be right back. Hello. I'm back. Okay, where was I? Sometimes breaks help me, where I come back and I see it all fresh. Sometimes they hurt me, where I was really in the zone and then I can't get back. So, you just never know, I guess. I had to stop and think about this angle. I couldn't remember if it goes down or if it goes up. It goes down, I remembered. I know that there's a little depression right here, but I can't remember exactly. Is it just a tear duct? I don't remember. I'll have to look that up. Having trouble remembering this part of the jaw or the mandible. I do think it helps if I fill in these areas, even though technically they would not be filled in, as there would be nothing behind them. But it helps me see it a little better. I don't think that looks that bad. Like the whole thing came together a little faster than it normally does. But shouldn't jinx myself. This doesn't look right. What if you tried only drawing the head, the hard parts? You mean like for practice? Is that what you mean? Oh, it looks like I'm typing. Damn it. Like if I focused on practicing just the hard parts, I think that's a great idea. And something I should do. But one of the hardest things for me is the beginning phase of the whole thing, where I'm laying it all in. That for me is the trickiest part. I mean, there's plenty of other hard parts as well, but that beginning stage is very difficult to get all of the main things sitting right. So I like to draw the whole thing and try to get that whole process down. But yeah, I do agree that probably would be good to just focus on certain areas. All right, I'm gonna try. So I got everything sort of roughed in. So I'm gonna lower the opacity on that layer, start a new one. Flip the whole thing just for fun. Flip the whole thing. And then try to clean it up a bit. And I try to turn the canvas in a way that I can make more natural curves. So I can only really draw a straight line, or I can only really control the pen in one direction because my arm's moving like this. if I try to push the pin like this or move it in different weird ways, it gets really tricky. So I move the canvas to fit what I can and can't do. I agree. There would be spots. Yeah, I think that's what I should do, is focus on problem areas, because there's no point in me redrawing the same things that I already know how to do, unless I'm just trying to solidify, or just trying to make sure I remember them, which is also important, I think, because I end up forgetting a lot of the things that I've learned. So I do think the repetition is good, but I completely agree. I should focus on those main areas and try tackling them in isolation. See, now I'm making stuff up because I can't remember if the connection point for this whole zygomatic arch thing is right here over the mandible or right behind it. And as soon as I see a skull, I'm going to feel real stupid for not knowing that, but that's what happens when you draw. You forget things. Am I frustrated? What does it mean? I'm getting frustrated because I can't, no matter how hard I'm thinking, I cannot remember certain things. Like, I know I studied it, but I just can't remember. And so that's frustrating to me. I'm also probably a bit distracted. I should try to focus a bit more. And there's a lot of times, like right now, what is it, bud? There's a lot of times where I'm not real sure where to go. Like I'm just not sure what to do next. this happens all the time. I will be drawing and then my dogs, like I'll just start getting into the zone, really feeling like I know what I'm doing. And then my dog will start whining. I gotta take him out. Or just let him out of my room. This song is called Runaway by Heavy, Hevi. I forgot I could use the chat as well. The one before it. Tell me if this isn't. I can't even remember what song I was listening to. Is it this one? Well, if you like this one, it's called Raptures of Lovers by Levi Finn. Yeah, I like this one. I need to learn my teeth better. I mean, I know how many teeth there are and what they are, but I don't actually know how they look very much, which is kind of important when you're trying to draw them. It can get kind of overwhelming learning these things. Because I feel like I have drawn the skull 100,000 times, and there's still so many things that I can't remember. I mean, this is something I've looked at again and again and again and again, and I still can't recall it in my head. You think you know something, but you don't know anything about it, and that can be really frustrating. It's also very interesting that we can look at something and not really see it or understand it, and that becomes really apparent when you go to draw it, because it's such a perfect way to reconstruct what's in your head. And if it's not in your head, you can't put it on the drawing. That's just interesting. Welcome back, Joe. Deep conversations with Dan. Yeah. Drawing thoughts with Dan. I think the music helps make it feel deep. I made this playlist, and it's just, I throw this on pretty much 9 times out of 10 when I go to do a drawing. You know, I think it depends on what part of the drawing I'm drawing that can help or hurt my talking. If I'm really having to think hard to put in the big shapes and get the whole thing down, then talking is really hard. But if I'm just filling in smaller areas, it's really not that bad, I don't think. So it kind of just depends on what part of the process you're in. Although I'm saying that now, I'm having difficulty drawing things, so who knows. So, draw at a speed. Yeah, I would draw probably very differently. Alright, so I filled in, well, almost. I filled in all of the darkest portions, the shadowed areas, the accents of the blacks. Actually, I'm just gonna fill these in totally black. But do any of you know if it is illegal to play music while streaming? I do have a Safe for Twitch stream playlist, but I don't like that one as much. But that's my, just in case I need to be abide by the copyright. Okay, Joe, there should only be one person watching, and that is my brothers. or my brother. Yeah, but what if I want to post this later as a video and it has the music in the background? Well, maybe it's just me. That counts as the third. Yeah, third person is me. Yeah. Weird. There's some creepy ghost person. I don't know. I don't know how to do that. It's a good idea. Alright. I'm gonna get back to the drawing. You guys can keep talking about music if you want. This is what I'm trying to do. God, drawing on a Wacom tablet is so frustrating. It doesn't work, and I've done it for years. Oh, stupid nose. Is his nose pressed in? No, but it looks like it is, doesn't it? Good point, Joe. Let's take out his whole eyebrow ridge. Alright, let's go back to that center line. Set this. See, this is very much a problem area, and it gets to a point where if you look at it too much, you can't even think. And it's probably really obvious to people watching what to do, and it will be obvious to me later what was wrong. But when you're working on it, it's just, it messes with your brain. So one thing you can do to help that is to flip the image, and that can help a little bit. So let's flip. What are the cracks on the skull for? Serious question. Yeah, so I believe the cracks in the skull are for when you are a baby and you're in the womb and the skull bones are separated a little bit and they have some give to them so they don't get totally crushed during childbirth, I believe is the answer to that question. And then they begin to harden over time. I don't know how long it takes. I think it's actually not until you're 5 years old when it's totally hardened or something like that. I don't know if that's right, but that sounds right to me. Okay, see, now I'm having an issue with what does this look like finished? What does it look like when I do it the right way? I have a lack of understanding of how it needs to look when it's finished. There's a couple levels I could try to take it to, but... Oh, back to this ball thing that I was drawing. I'm going to try and give... I gotta think. Alright, so if the lighting is coming from... I'm going to move this back a little. I'm guessing at those for now, but if the lighting is coming from this angle, oops, that doesn't even look right. Alright, who cares about this stupid pen arrow? Light's coming from this direction, it hits about right there. The light right there. Shadow's gonna be cast around this area. This is where the halftones would be. Then you got your core shadow. Oh, this is such a mess. I hate this stupid Wacom tablet. Although I'm blaming the tablet, but we all know it's my fault that this thing doesn't look good. And there's your reflected light. So there's very little shadow on this thing. You know what? I'm gonna do this the right way. In a way that I understand. Oops. Alright, see how that looks like a damn ball? The other one does not. There. There's the ball. That's my lighting guide. That will be my guide for this. Now I already have the accents put in. So those darkest areas. That's the cast shadows. Alright, before I do that, I'll catch up on the chat. Guitar break. Yeah, see, you guys are impressed by my ability to draw a ball, but not an entire skull. That's a problem. It shows you what I'm good at and what I'm bad at. I have a lot of knowledge with lighting, very little knowledge with the human figure. So, and also, look, this is how awful the line work is on a tablet. For me, at least, I just can't figure out how to do it, right? Like, that's the best circle I can draw. The line weight just feels really weird when you use a tablet because you're drawing here and you have to look over here and see the thing move, and it just feels so detached. Would I rather use a tablet or a Cintiq? I don't know. I don't really like either one. Give me a piece of paper and a pencil. Alright, let's put some cross hatching in and see if we can make this look like something. Okay, so anything facing towards the light, if you follow this thing, is going to be real light. So that's what we're going to think about right now. Now we'll be dealing with the halftones. So it's where the form is turning away from the light, but it's not totally shadow yet. Which I believe should be all of this area. You know what? Screw this. I'm just gonna paint the whole thing. Because this makes so much more sense to my brain than this stupid cross-hatching. Yeah, you guys are asking if I can draw this, or do I have the equipment to draw it on a piece of paper? And the answer is no, not yet. But I'm thinking about buying a camera in the next few weeks or so, and I'll start playing around with that then, because I would love to do that. I'm glad you guys agree. I mean, I agree too. I think that would be really fun. They're too dark. Oh, well, thank you. It's hard to see. What I'm thinking about when I do this is what's facing towards the light. Like this, I didn't even think about it, but this whole part faces towards the light, so it needs to be lighter than the rest, which is facing away. And I know this faces the light, but I'm not totally sure which part is directly facing light. So I think that's better. I can't remember how that turn goes. This whole thing faces down a bit. Maybe not. Yeah. Okay. Joe, you are always over the top with compliments, but I appreciate it. And yeah, I think this isn't that bad. I mean, you guys aren't very scary, but other people are scary. I think honestly one of the things is I can see the chat, and maybe I'll minimize it in the future, but I can see the chat, and I can see that there's messages, and I'm actively trying to ignore them while I finish whatever I'm doing. So I know that'll be an issue in whatever I do. So this is very helpful. But yeah, I'm glad you guys like it. I feel, you tell me if this is the case, but I feel weird when I don't talk for a long period of time. But maybe that's not so weird. Yeah. agree with you guys. I'm gonna do one more flip, last little touches, and then that'll be it. The whole thing's a bit messy, but that's just another thing I gotta work on. It comes from not having a very clear idea of what I want to begin with. And I know that, and yet I still can't decide on what I want to begin with. I don't know why. It's very difficult to know. That's why people get stuck in their individual style. They come up with one way to do something, and they just fall back to that every single time. So there's certainly pros and cons to having like a style or whatever, but me, it's just a lack of knowledge. Alright, I'm gonna call it done. I think. Let's add this to the mix, see how we did. Now of course all of them are a little bit different sizes and everything, and done in different mediums or digital mediums. Some are drawn, some are painted, but hey, he's not too bad when you line him up. All right, guys, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And I guess do this again next week, maybe for real. Thank you. It does kind of look like progress, doesn't it? I think he's not too bad. I'm not totally happy with how he turned out. There's certainly some areas that I definitely need to work on. But overall, he came together a lot smoother than some of the other ones, so I'm pretty happy with that. All right. Thanks.